But I do want to talk college football. We touched on it before, but it's time to cut the ish and lay it out there right now. Michigan fans, right here, right now. That's it, that's all. Is it national championship or failure? Is it national championship or failure? Because Sam Flannel, it's time. It's time to quit beating around the bush. It's time to stop talking about incremental improvement. It's time to talk about cute little Big Ten championship wins over Iowa and stuff like that. It's time, Sam Flannel. It's time to take that step, win a national title. You have the schedule for it. And again, full disclaimer, I would schedule it the same way if I were Michigan football. I'm not critical of that. I'm not. It's time. It's time to take that step. It's time to cash it in, Sam Flannel. And if you don't, it's a failure.
Yes. Here's something that was actually shown to me by my good friend and friend of this network, and someone who I've worked on many things with on post-game shows, pre-game shows, even did a stint for Easy in the heavyweights, and that is my good friend Booner. He sent me something a while back to sort of piggyback off of what you said. It was a website called On3, which listed the top 100 returning players in college football for the 2023 season. Michigan had 7. You got Blake Corum, Will Johnson, Chris Jenkins, Zach Zinner, J.J. McCarthy, Donovan Edwards, Rod Moore. All players that I expect to thrive this year, and all at different positional groups. Georgia has 7. Alabama has 5. Ohio State has 6. And that doesn't even include some of the transfer portal gets that Michigan got this past offseason, including the number 4 transfer in the nation, Ernest Hausman, the linebacker. And they also got Josiah Stewart, a guy who had 12 and a half sacks in his freshman year at Coastal Carolina. He only had 3.5 last year, but he still has that proof that he can be a effective edge rusher. And also his name is Ladarius Jefferson, I believe, an offensive lineman from Arizona State who is going to slide into the left tackle position that was vacated by Ryan Hayes, who got drafted in the NFL. So the point is that according to that list, according to what they did in the transfer portal, which they ranked second among all Big Ten teams, Michigan has a lot returning. And I didn't even account for Colston Loveland and Junior Colson and guys like that. So this is a stacked team. They have, to be fair, a pretty favorable path ahead. They get Ohio State at home. They have a very, very soft...
How come Michigan fans can't just say it's an easy schedule?
Okay, it's an easy schedule.
Okay, thank you.
That
That's
is an
all
easy
I want.
schedule. They have a very, very easy non-conference
full
schedule.
disclosure.
Okay.
I approve. I would do the same thing.
Absolutely. So I guess all that being said, national media thinks that Michigan has as many great players returning as Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State. And I've said just as much in the past that this might be the year to get Alabama. This might be the year to get Georgia. And Clemson's been down. Ohio State, Michigan has pretty much lapped them, at least the last couple of years, with 2 consecutive double-digit wins. And that also happens when you go to the college football playoff in your second year and get upset. At that point, the whole happy to be there, the whole getting there and not winning, that's got to be in the past. It absolutely is national championship or bust this year. I'm putting it on the table right now. National championship or bust.
Mike G in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Big Ten championship is my goal.
Well, I expected that from Mike G. Well, the Michigan's already proved that they could do it. That's the thing. Michigan was in a very, very dark spot of football for many, many, many years. I would say from the tail end of Lloyd Carr to just these past couple of years where they went 15 consecutive years with no Big Ten championship, went 15 of 16 years losing to Ohio State. Michigan has proven that they can get over that hump that they weren't able to get over for many, many years by beating Ohio State by double digits 2 consecutive years in a row, by winning 2 consecutive Big Ten championships, and by getting to the college football playoff. But what happened? Your first year against Georgia, I think there was a little bit of happy to be there. They got smashed. I don't really count that as that huge of a deal. But what you have to count as a huge of a deal is going in against TCU, in which you were a 9-point favorite, in losing.
But you did have a freshman quarterback.
Well, a sophomore quarterback.
Or sophomore quarterback. First-year quarterback.
First-year starter, but that kind of leads to your point. J.J. McCarthy, another offseason, another year of experience under his belt. A lot of those mistakes. I don't think he'll throw 2 pick sixes in a college football playoff game again. He could, but those are those young quarterbacks type mistakes. Michigan, they might be preseason number 1. I wouldn't necessarily bet on it, but they're going to be the number one ranked team in the nation at some point this year. I think we would all take that bet. Would you take that bet that at some point they'll be the number one ranked team in the nation?
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they have bye weeks for the first 7 weeks of the season or 8 weeks of the season.
That's fair.
There are no even, and here's the deal too. We've proven this time and time again. We've got something about double-digit wins, and poll voters are the same way, where there's something about double-digit wins, and you'll rack them all up, playing East Carolina and UNLV, Bowling Green's on there, and then the schedule lightens up with Rutgers and teams like that. So, it's a 7-game preseason, and look, that's not hating. Go look at the schedule yourself, and again, I would do it too. Exactly, I would do it. And especially going forward, because next year that playoff expands. If you're Michigan, it doesn't make any sense to play anybody, because next year you can you can play nobody except Ohio State, which is pretty much the way it is on your schedule on a year in and year out basis.
2024 you got at USC. I think that's going to be tough.
Okay. Anyway, Lincoln Riley, I know.
One of the best coaches.
I forgot, I keep forgetting.
One of the best coaches in all of college football.
Real quick, Spemo, can we YouTube chat pull that one? Is it natty or bust for Michigan? Real simple. I forgot now that USC is getting swooped up into the Big Ten. Now we get to do that. We get to do that marketing dance with USC too, to project them into something greater than what they are.
Okay.
And Lincoln Riley too.
Okay, but has Lincoln Riley groomed 3 Heisman Trophy winners plus Jalen Hurts, and is he a clear miles ahead upgrade over Clay Helton? I would say yes.
Okay.
I think USC
Sure. Did they get their ass kicked by Utah?
Yes, they did.
Physically.
They did. But Lincoln Riley's got to get more of his guys, and I think that they're going to be a perennial top 5 to 10 team, and you might see them in the college football playoff within the next couple of years. I wouldn't count out USC. They had a bad stretch, and they had one of their worst coaches in school history in Clay Helton. I think Lincoln Riley is perfect for USC.
I mean, he was very on brand. Get the buzz going. Everybody talks about him. They play somebody that matters. They get punched in the mouth.
And that
he'll fit right in the Big Ten.
Hey, that's also been unfortunately a trope of Lincoln Riley teams. Although I think those Oklahoma teams, when they go in and face teams with more talent and more physicality, like Alabama or Georgia, they have always gotten smashed. I don't know, but it happened last year too with Utah as well, to be fair.
DNC natty appearance, or I want Jim's job. Wow. Sorry, 2-7 in bowl games won't cut it. No, but it gets you a statue. Yeah, he's got to lose one more and be 2-8. Then you get a statue.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because if Michigan goes to the college football playoff and loses, especially if they lose to a team that they're favored against, then you definitely have to have those questions. Is he Jim Schembechler? Is he Bo Harbaugh? I mean, seriously. Because Jim Harbaugh hasn't done very well in bowl games either, and especially in the games that count, college football playoff, he's 0-2. I think 0-3 would be a disaster at this point.
Steve says, definitely title or bust. You can keep going to the store and putting stuff in your cart, but at some point you have to take the groceries home. I'm hungry, mofo. So, and again, I'm not writing this down or anything, but I'm kind of keeping mental receipts of where the people are, because I don't want to hear about it, guys. I don't want to, when this rolls in, and this will be the thing. Look, we're going to get through the summer here, and then we're going to get into football season, and it's going to be an 11-week exhibition schedule or 7-week exhibition schedule, whatever it is for Michigan. Right? Is that fair? That's what it's going to be.
If there's any games that are slightly tougher, I would say at Penn State, at Michigan State, because there crazy things happen in those games, to be fair, and home against Ohio State. Those are the ones that I would say are above exhibition games. But the rest of them, I'm with you on that. They should absolutely breeze through their schedule.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're in agreement. Spenmo, we got a impromptu topic when we come back from the break because of the noise you made. We got to talk it out, man.
All right.
Just an initial takeoff.
Yeah.
That's it. Just an initial takeoff. Because that's not what I was told by you, Spenmo. When you made the noise, that's not what I was told.
Yeah.
So I want the why.
Okay.
Number one. Spenmo, I'm sorry. I have to ask the questions.
Yeah, that's fine.
I have to ask the questions of the people. But I'm keeping some receipts right now because I don't want to hear it. And we're going to get through this. And like, I know you're going to want to go to Indy and get your T-shirt and everything like that. And T-shirts are great for Michigan fans. Like, they love them. I understand that. I have an Iowa Citrus Bowl T-shirt. It's one of my favorite T-shirts I have that people from University of Iowa sent me, as a matter of fact. But no, it's just, you got to stay consistent, man, because I don't want to hear it. If you lose, I don't want to hear it.
Well, yeah, if we lose, of course, it would be...
I don't want to hear, well, it was a good season. We won a Big Ten again. That's not the way this works anymore, you guys. It's not. It's changed. And next year, it's going to change more. Next year, it's going to be even easier for you to get in there because you don't have to play anyone. You could play the schedule you play, lose to Ohio State, and you're still going to get in the college football playoff.
3 times as many teams. Yeah, you would definitely get in. The only thing I will say is I am going to enjoy the journey no matter what. Unless, of course, there's a bad
No,
loss,
you don't. No, you don't get to say that,
yes,
man.
You do. What are you talking about?
When you take this step, you don't get to, quote, enjoy the journey. That's not title or bust. That's like, hey, I hope we win a title. Why do I expect more from your team than you do? Why?
Let me clarify this really quick. So are you saying that if Michigan goes to Michigan State and smashes them, which I think Spenmo expects, and I would expect at least with the talent level, I just have to come in here the next day according to the rules of Neil Rule and just be like, job's not finished. Don't care.
Yes.
Not doing
that.
That's so unreasonable. That's not even funny. Are you kidding me?
Okay, so it's hope for a national title. Hey, as long as we beat Michigan State, everything's cool.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
That's not what I'm saying.
Michigan State, Ohio State, everything's cool.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm allowed to enjoy victories. I'm not saying that I'm satisfied because of the victories. I'm just saying that I'm allowed to enjoy them. I don't have to always be stone-faced and everything. You are allowed to enjoy the journey. The man who usually sits right here would agree with me. The journey is part of it. It would obviously be a journey with a terrible, terrible ending if they lose, but as long as they keep winning.
But it's good enough for you.
It's not good enough. I'm saying that I will be happy as long as they keep winning. I'm not going to come here and not enjoy it. Obviously, the ultimate enjoyment would be them winning the national championship.
Does Alabama beat Auburn and then lose to Georgia or lose in the SEC title game and say, man, that was a fun journey. We beat Auburn, and I really, really enjoyed that. I know that one fan killed the Alabama fans' trees, so suck on that because, hey, we won that game. I'm sure that's what they say. Georgia's probably the same way.
Do you see the fans at Alabama Stadium? I actually forgot the name of it. Just golf clapping when they beat Auburn. You're allowed to enjoy that win and not be satisfied, but enjoy the win. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to enjoy the journey.
Sure, but I'm talking about the end of season rationalization that you guys do after it's over, and because you're so scared to like be hurt or anything like that, because you look back at it and you go, well, you justify it. Well, we did win the Big Ten title, and we've won 3 in a row against Ohio State, even though they beat us 18 out of 20 times. So that's equivalent. So we've made up for that now. No, man, that's not the way it works when it's title or bust.